Now, I've thought long and hard about the wisdom of doing this clip. And the reason is because I know what I'm about to say is going to be an unpopular opinion. But nonetheless, it is my opinion, so I'm going to share it. It is a fact that some people pretend to have disabilities. And there's a whole heap of reasons that they do that. A lot of the time, it's to get out of doing something, and it's an excuse for not working. And I came across that quite a lot in previous careers. It's also something which I've noticed more and more, and I'm not saying people are pretending, but there's a lot of self-diagnosis going on with all sorts of things, but especially neurodiversity, to the point a lot of people are saying, well, it's a fad, isn't it? Everybody's got ADHD. And now the latest thing is everybody's claiming to have autism as well, and it's a trend and it's an identity. But it isn't. You've either got ADHD, you're autistic, or a mixture of the two, or you're not. But do you know what? I get the fact that people search for identity. I get that. I totally get it. And I also get that official diagnosis can be a very daunting prospect. And the biggest part of that is thinking that I want to get a diagnosis because I feel I'm not like everybody else. I've got all these issues in my life that I want to get resolved and I want to get help for, and I feel a diagnosis will really help for that. But it's expensive. And more importantly, I'm so scared that they'll tell me I'm normal, that I'm fine. And I don't think I'd be able to deal with that because I've done all this self-diagnosis and I've ticked all these boxes and everything fits, so I think I am like that. Well, great. So what are you going to do about that? What are you doing with the rest of your life? Are you doing something about getting the support you need? And when I'm talking about doing something about the support you need, I'm not talking about going on Facebook groups or other social media groups and just talking about your self-diagnosis. And there is support there, but they are such dangerous places. And the reason I say they're dangerous is because we are responsible for our journey. We are responsible for our successes. And unless we take the steps ourselves, we're not going to have the success that we can be capable of. We absolutely need to take steps ourselves. We have to not get sucked down by groups complaining about their issues and their trauma and everything else. It's excuses. It's pathetic sometimes when I look at these people. And people would say, oh, you're not being very sympathetic, you're not being very supportive, you're not being empathetic. No, I'm not. Because I realise the danger of it. And I also realise that a lot of people aren't moving forward. But I know what happens later on if you don't move forward. If you don't take those steps yourself, you can become extremely bitter at the world. People blame everybody else for their problems and never face up to the reality that the main issues in their lives are caused by a lack of their action. Nobody is going to take us by the hand and do stuff for us all our lives. Sooner or later, those people that support us and do help us by leading us through things aren't being helpful in the long run. Not unless you're severely disabled to the point where you're institutionalised. But anything else, we have to take the bull by the horns and we have to do it ourselves. And it is hard sometimes. And anxiety can really get in the way of that. But we are the only ones to blame for that. Now, I'm going to stop this now and I'm going to go back and I'm going to rewatch it and revisit it at a later date, and I'm going to think about what I've said to see if it's still valid. And if it is, I will post it, including these comments. And that's it until next time.